KL stood at the observation window of the Times Horizon's Dream asterisk, watching the stars blur past. His large eyes reflected the light differently than human eyes did. Everything about him was different from the humans on this ship. His skin was pale blue, almost translucent. His body was thin and fragile. His people, the Valorans, were not built for strength. They were built for thinking. This was Kale's first assignment away from his home world. At 23 cycles old, he was young by Valoran standards. His family had been proud when he was selected for the multi-species research program. They told him to learn everything he could about the other species in the galaxy, especially the humans. Humans were strange. Everyone in the galaxy agreed on that. The door behind Kyle opened with a soft sound. He turned to see Hyun walking in with a datapad in his hands. Hyun was the chief engineer, a human male with dark hair and kind eyes. He smiled when he saw Kyle. "Still staring at the stars?" Hyun asked. "You've been here for 2 hours. I find it peaceful," Kyle said. His voice was soft, musical. "On my world, we cannot see this many stars. Our atmosphere is too thick." Hyun came to stand beside him. "Must be amazing for you then. First time off-world, right?" "Yes. Everything is amazing. And frightening." "Frightening?" Hyun looked concerned. "What frightens you?" Kale hesitated. "Everything is so open. So much space. So many unknowns. My people prefer certainty. We study things until we understand them completely." Hyun laughed. But it was a warm sound. Humans are the opposite. We run toward the unknown. Sometimes that's stupid. Sometimes that's brave. Usually, it's both. This was what fascinated KL about humans. They admitted their flaws so easily. Valoran spent years in meditation to accept even small imperfections. Humans just shrugged and kept moving forward. The door opened again. Yuna and Do-hyun walked in together. Yuna was the ship's pilot, small and quick with short black hair. Do-hyun was security, tall and muscular with scars on his arms. Kale had asked about the scars once. Do-hyun said they were from growing up rough. Kyle still didn't fully understand what that meant. "There you are," Yuna said. "We've been looking everywhere." Sora said it's time for group meal. Group meal was a human custom the crew had adopted. Once per day, everyone ate together. It was inefficient. Eating separately would save time. But humans insisted it was important for morale. Kale followed them to the dining area. The ship had a crew of 15 from 6 different species. But the humans there, were 4 of them, seemed to be the heart of the group. They made jokes. They told stories. They brought everyone together. Sora was already setting out food. She was the medical officer. Quiet and observant. She always watched people carefully, like she was trying to understand them. Kale liked her. She reminded him of Valoran scholars. "Kale, sit here," Sora said, pointing to a seat. "I made something special for you. I researched Valoran dietary needs." Kale looked at the plate she offered. It was blue-green, the right color for his food. He tasted it carefully. It was almost perfect. "This is very close to home food," Kale said. "Thank you." Sora smiled. "I wanted you to feel welcome." This was another human thing. They cared about feelings. Valorans understood feelings academically. Humans times felt times feelings with their whole being. They let emotions guide them. It seemed chaotic to Kale. But it also seemed beautiful. "So, Kale," Do-hyun said, sitting across from him. "Tell us more about your world. You said your people have no predators?" "Correct. We eliminated all predatory species 15,000 years ago. It was a great scientific achievement." The humans looked at each other. Kale had learned to read some human expressions. This one seemed to be surprise mixed with something else. "Concern, maybe? All of them?" Hyun asked. "Every single predator?" "Yes. Our world is perfectly balanced now. Everything is safe. But..." Yuna paused. "Don't you have criminals? Violence? No. Why would we? Violence serves no purpose. When there is disagreement, we discuss until we find truth. Another look passed between the humans. Kale felt like he was missing something important. That sounds peaceful, Sora said softly. Your people must be very wise. We try to be. But we are curious about humans. Your people have so much violence in your history. Wars. Murder. Destruction. Yet you are also kind. Compassionate. Creative. How can you be both things? The question had bothered KL since he started studying human culture. It made no logical sense. Do-hyun leaned back in his chair. That's complicated. Humans aren't peaceful by nature. We come from a world that tried to kill us every day. Predators. Disease. Other humans. We learned to fight because we had to. But you don't have to now. Kale said. You have technology. Safety. Peace. Why do you still train for combat? Why do you still study warfare? Quote, because the galaxy isn't safe, Hyun said quietly. Just because we want peace doesn't mean everyone else does. But the Galactic Council ensures peace. The Council is good, Yuna said. But it's not perfect. There are places it doesn't reach. Things it can't stop. Humans learned a long time ago. Hope for the best. Prepare for the worst. Kale didn't understand. His people had joined the galaxy 300 years ago. In all that time, they had never faced violence. Never needed weapons. Never known war. Why would they? The galaxy was civilized now. The meal continued with lighter talk. Hyun told a funny story about his training days. Yuna described the first time she flew a ship alone. Do-hyun and Sora argued playfully about which human food was best. Kale listened and watched. He was learning so much. But the more he learned about humans, the more questions he had. Later, Kale returned to his quarters. He began writing his daily report for the Velaron Academy. He described the human behaviors he'd observed. Their strange mix of aggression and kindness. Their preparation for dangers that might never come. Their focus on feelings over pure logic. I do not yet understand them, he wrote. But I think I want to. They are like a puzzle with missing pieces. I must find those pieces. He sent the report and prepared for sleep. Tomorrow would bring new observations, new data, new questions. Kale had no way of knowing that tomorrow would change everything. That soon he would understand exactly why humans stayed ready for violence. That he would learn what fear truly meant, and that when terror came, those same humans he studied would be the only thing standing between him and death. But for now, he slept peacefully. Safe in his ignorance. Safe in his belief that the galaxy was a civilized, gentle place. The stars continued to blur past the ship as it moved deeper into space, toward the distress signal that would arrive in 36 hours, toward the colony that waited in silence, toward the nightmare that would teach KL the truth about the universe, the truth that humans already knew. That civilization was thin, that peace was fragile, that somewhere in the dark, hungry things still waited, and that the only thing standing between order and chaos was the willingness to fight back. The alarm woke Kale from his sleep. It was not the gentle wake-up tone he was used to. This was sharp, urgent, wrong. He sat up quickly, his heart beating fast. Even his peaceful species recognized alarm sounds. He dressed and hurried to the bridge. Everyone was already there. The captain, a tall Therian with 4 arms, stood at the center. The humans were at their stations. Kale noticed something different about them. They were alert, focused, moving with purpose. What's happening? Kale asked. Distress signal, Hyun said without looking away from his console. Colony, on the edge of mapped space. Signal is weak and broken. The council should handle this, the captain said. We are a research vessel. They're 3 days away, Yuna said from the pilot station. The signal sounds bad. Really bad. The captain's face showed conflict. KL understood. Their mission was scientific study, not rescue. Going to the colony would break protocol. But leaving people to die would break something else. We're close, Sora said quietly. Just 4 hours away, the captain looked at each crew member. When his eyes reached the humans, Kale saw something pass between them, an understanding without words. Set course, the captain said. But we stay ready to leave quickly if there is danger. Yuna's hands moved over the controls. The ship changed direction. Kyle felt the subtle shift in motion. 4 hours. They would know what happened in 4 hours. Those hours passed slowly. Kale tried to work on his research, but he couldn't focus. He kept watching the humans. They had changed. Do-hyun was checking weapons that Kale didn't even know the ship had. Hyun was running system diagnostics, preparing the ship for emergency maneuvers. Sora was organizing medical supplies with quick, efficient movements. Yuna sat at her station, fingers ready on the controls, eyes never leaving her screens. "Why are you all preparing for combat?" Kale asked. "It is just a colony. Maybe their power failed. Maybe it is a technical problem." Do-hyun looked at him. "Maybe. But that signal was scared. I could hear it in the voice. Someone was terrified. You can determine emotion from a broken signal? Yes. Fear has a sound. You learn to recognize it." Kyle didn't understand. His people had words for fear, but no Valoran had felt true terror in thousands of years. It was academic. Theoretical. The ship dropped out of faster-than-light travel. The colony appeared on the screens. It was small. Just 50 buildings arranged in a circle. Lights should have been on. Movement should have been visible. Everything was dark. "I'm not detecting any life signs," Hyun said. His voice was tight. "Could be a sensor error," the captain said. But he didn't sound like he believed it. "Requesting permission to take a team down," Do-hyun said. "We need to investigate." The captain hesitated, then nodded. "Take 2 others. Be quick. First sign of danger, you return immediately." "I should go," Kale said. Everyone looked at him. "I am a scientist. I can analyze what happened." "Kale, this might not be safe," Sora said. "Then I will stay behind the security personnel." "But you need someone who can read evidence, understand what occurred." Do-hyun and Hyun exchanged looks. "He's not wrong," Hyun said. "Could be useful." "All right," Do-hyun said. "But you stay close to me. You don't touch anything until I say it's safe." "Understood?" "Understood." They took a shuttle down. Yuna piloted, her face serious. Kyle sat in the back between Do-hyun and Hyun. Both humans had weapons now. Seeing them armed made something cold form in Kyle's stomach. A feeling he couldn't name. The shuttle landed in the colony's central square. The doors opened. Kale followed the humans out. The silence hit him first. No sounds, no insects, no wind, nothing. Like the world was holding its breath. "Stay together," Do-hyun said quietly. "Kale, between us." They moved forward. Kale's eyes, better in low light than human eyes, saw everything. Doors torn open. Windows shattered. Dark stains on the ground that might have been blood. Signs of struggle everywhere. "What could do this?" Kale whispered. "Don't know," Hyun said. "But whatever it was fast and violent." They entered the first building. It had been a home. Furniture was overturned. Food still on a table, rotting. Pictures on walls showing happy families. All gone now. "No bodies," Do-hyun observed. "They took them." "Took them where? Why?" No one answered. They checked 5 more buildings. Same story. Violence, struggle, no people. Kale's analytical mind worked through the evidence. Whatever attacked came quickly. The colonists had no time to call for help properly. Some tried to fight. None succeeded. "We should go back," Hyun said. "Report this to the council." "Agreed," Do-hyun said. "This is beyond our—" He stopped. His whole body went still. Kale had never seen a human freeze like that. "What?" Kale asked. "Quiet," Do-hyun breathed. His weapon came up slowly. Then Kale heard it. A sound like clicking mixed with wet breathing. Coming from the building to their left. Getting closer. Back to the shuttle, Do-hyun whispered. Slowly. No sudden moves. They started backing away. The sound got louder. Closer. Something was following them. It came around the corner. Kale's mind stopped working. The creature was twice the size of a human. It walked on 4 legs but had 2 arms with too many joints. Its body was covered in dark plates that looked like armor. But the head was nightmare. Multiple eyes that glowed red. A mouth that opened too wide, showing rows of curved teeth. And it was looking at Kale. Something happened to Kale's body. Every muscle locked. His breath stopped. His thoughts scattered like frightened birds. This was fear. Real fear. The kind his species had never evolved to handle. It paralyzed him completely. "Move!" Do-hyun shouted. The creature charged. Everything happened fast. Do-hyun fired his weapon. The blast hit the creature's shoulder, barely slowing it. Hyun grabbed Kale and pulled him back. Yuna appeared from the shuttle, firing as well. The creature screamed. The sound made Kale's blood freeze even colder. It was intelligent. He could hear intelligence in that scream. This thing was smart. "Get him to the shuttle," Do-hyun ordered. Hyun dragged Kyle backward. Kyle couldn't help. Couldn't move. Couldn't think. His species had no instincts for this. No response to predators. They had removed all threats from their world so long ago that evolution had taken away their ability to react. He was helpless. The creature swiped at Do-hyun. He rolled under the attack, fired again. This blast hit its leg. It stumbled, but kept coming. These things were built to survive. Yuna was beside Hyun now, both pulling Kyle back. He wanted to help them. Wanted to run. Wanted to do anything. But his body wouldn't respond to his commands. Fear had shut him down completely. "Get him inside." Do-hyun was backing toward them, still firing. They reached the shuttle. Hyun and Yuna pulled Kyle through the door. Do-hyun followed, firing one last shot. The door closed. The creature hit it a second later, making the whole shuttle shake. "Go, go, go," Do-hyun shouted. Yuna was already at the controls. The shuttle lifted. Through the window, Kale saw the creature below, watching them leave. And then he saw more. 3 more creatures emerged from buildings. They had been surrounded. If the humans had been slower, the shuttle climbed fast. The colony grew smaller below them. Kale could finally move again. He fell to his knees, shaking. His breath came in gasps. "It's okay," Sora's voice said. She was there somehow, kneeling beside him. "You're safe now. It's okay." I couldn't move," Kale said. His voice shook. "I tried. I couldn't." "I know. Your people don't have fear responses. You never needed them. But I needed them today. And I failed. I almost got them killed." Do-hyun sat down heavily. "You didn't get anyone killed. We're all fine. Because you protected me. Because humans know how to fight. My species is useless against such things." "Your species is peaceful," Hyun said. "That's not useless. That's beautiful. You just weren't ready for this." "What were those things?" Kale asked. "I don't know," Do-hyun said. "But I've seen pictures in old military databases. Stories. I think they might be Scraith." The name meant nothing to Kale. But the way Do-hyun said it made fear come back. "What are Scraith?" "Predators. Ancient ones. They were supposed to be extinct. Gone for 1,000 years. The shuttle docked with the ship. The captain was waiting, his face grave. "Report," he demanded. Do-hyun told him everything. The destroyed colony. The creatures. The attack. As he spoke, Kale watched the captain's face grow paler. "This is very bad," the captain said. "If the Scraith have returned, nowhere is safe. We need to warn the council," Hyun said. "They need to know. I'm already sending the message. But we're far from help. 3 days minimum." Kale went to his quarters. He couldn't face anyone. Shame burned inside him. He had frozen. Become a burden. Nearly gotten his friends killed. Friends? When had he started thinking of the humans as friends? A knock on his door. Sora entered without waiting for his answer. "I don't want to talk," Kale said. "I know. I'll talk then." She sat on his bed. "What you felt today is called terror. It's not the same as normal fear. It's the kind that shuts you down. Humans feel it too. But you didn't freeze, because we've trained. Our whole species has trained for millions of years to fight through fear. Your species never needed to. That's not weakness, Kale. That's just difference. It felt like weakness. I know, but you're still here. Still alive. That's what matters." She left him alone then. Kale sat in the darkness, thinking about what had happened. About the creature and its intelligent eyes. About how easily it had nearly killed them all. And about how the humans had moved without hesitation, had protected him, had saved his life. His people had removed all predators from their world. They thought that made them advanced, civilized, better. But maybe they had removed something important too. Something humans still had. The will to survive, the ability to fight back. The strength to face terror and keep moving. Kale didn't know it yet. But he was about to learn all those things. Because the Scraith weren't done with them, not even close. Kale didn't sleep that night. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the creature. Those red, glowing eyes. That mouth full of teeth. The intelligence behind its gaze. Morning came slowly. Kale forced himself to leave his quarters. He had to face the others. Had to try to be useful somehow. The ship felt different. Everyone moved quickly. Spoke quietly. The easy atmosphere from before was gone. The entire crew understood they were in danger now. Kale found Do-hyun in the security office. The human was pulling weapons from locked storage. Things Kale had never seen before. Rifles. Blades. Things designed only to hurt. "Can I help?" Kale asked quietly. Do-hyun looked up. His expression softened. "Sure. Can you carry these to the armory? Just be careful. Don't touch the trigger parts." Kale picked up a weapon carefully. It was heavier than he expected. Cold. Deadly. He had never held anything made for violence before. "Why does a research ship have military weapons?" Kale asked. "Regulations. Any ship traveling beyond patrol zones must have basic defense equipment. Most ships never use it. Humans insisted we stock more than basic. Because you always prepare for danger." "Yeah. Other species thought we were paranoid." Do-hyun's face was grim. "Guess we weren't paranoid enough." They worked in silence for a while. Kale made several trips, carrying weapons to where they were needed. Other crew members watched him. Some looked surprised. Others looked worried. Kale knew why. Valorans were pacifists. Seeing one-handle weapons was strange, but Kale was changing. He didn't know how to fight. His body wasn't built for it. But he could help those who did know. Hyun was in engineering, working on something with intense focus. Sparks flew from his tools. Other engineers worked around him, all moving with purpose. "What are you building?" Kale asked. "Reinforcing doors, making them harder to break through. If those things get on the ship." He didn't finish. He didn't need to. "Can I assist?" Hyun looked at him with surprise. "You know, engineering?" "I know science. I can follow instructions." Hyun smiled, tired but genuine. "Okay. Hold this while I weld." Kale held the metal plate steady. His hands shook slightly, but he kept them firm. The heat from the welding made his sensitive skin uncomfortable. He didn't complain. After an hour, Hyun paused. "You're doing good, Kale. Thanks for helping. I froze yesterday. I was useless. Yesterday was your first time facing real danger. No one expects you to be a warrior immediately. But I want to help. I don't want to be a burden anymore." Hyun put down his tools. "Listen. You're smart. Really smart. Your brain is your weapon. When things get bad, we'll need you to think, to figure things out. That's not being a burden. That's being part of the team. The words helped. A little. The day passed in preparation. The captain sent detailed reports to the Galactic Council. Help was coming. But it would take days. Days they might not have. Kale was in the dining area when the lights went red, emergency lighting. The alarm sounded again, but different this time. This wasn't a distress signal. This was an internal alert. All crew to stations. The captain's voice came through the speakers. We have a breach. Something is on the ship. Kale's blood went cold. His hands started shaking. No, not here. Not on the ship. This was supposed to be safe. Do-hyun appeared in the doorway, weapon in hand. KL followed, trying to control his fear. His body wanted to freeze again. He fought it. Kept moving. One step, then another. How did they get on the ship? Kale asked. Must have been in the shuttle. When we went down to the colony, one must have attached itself underneath. They reached the bridge. The captain was there with Yuna and other crew members. Everyone looked frightened. Even the humans looked tense. Report, Do-hyun demanded. Engineering section. Hyun's voice came through the speakers. He sounded strained. It's in the vents. I can hear it moving. Sora, I need you to seal the medical bay. Don't let anything in. Already done, Sora replied. I have 3 crew members with me. We're secure. Smart, Do-hyun said. Everyone else, get to defensive positions. Stay in pairs minimum. Do not go anywhere alone. The crew scattered. Some headed to the armory. Others ran to secure important areas. The ship that had felt safe now felt like a trap. How many are there? The captain asked. Sensors show 1, Yuna said. But these things are hard to track. 1 is enough, Do-hyun muttered. Over the next hour, reports came in. The creature was hunting. It would appear in one section. Attack, then vanish into the vents before anyone could respond. 2 crew members were taken, their screams cut off suddenly. Kale listened to each report with growing horror. This thing was smart. It wasn't just attacking, it was hunting strategically. Picking off isolated crew members, creating fear. We need to think differently, Kyle said suddenly. Everyone looked at him. It's using the vents. We should seal them. We need the vents for life support, the captain said. Not all of them, just the main ones between sections. Force it into a smaller area. Make it come to us instead of hunting us. Do-hyun's eyes lit up. That could work. Hyun, can you do it? Give me 20 minutes, Hyun said through the speaker. You don't have 20 minutes, a new voice said. One of the other engineers. He sounded terrified. It's coming toward engineering. I can hear it in the walls. Everyone out of engineering, Do-hyun ordered. Hyun, you too, now. But I need to, now. The speakers went quiet. Then sounds of running. Shouting. A scream that made Kale's stomach turn. The sound of weapons firing, then silence. Hyun? Do-hyun's voice was tight. Hyun? Respond. Soan Do-hyun? Nothing. Sora, I'm going to engineering. You have command of medical. Be careful, Sora said. Kale could hear worry in her voice. Do-hyun headed for the door. Kale followed. No, Do-hyun said. You stay here. I can help. I'm smart, remember? My brain is my weapon. Do-hyun looked at him for a long moment. Then nodded. Stay behind me. You run if I tell you to run. Understood? Understood. They moved through the corridors carefully. Everything was too quiet. Red lights painted the walls in shades of blood. Kale's heart pounded so hard he thought it might break. They reached engineering. The door was open. Inside, tools were scattered, signs of struggle. But no people, no bodies. Hyun? Do-hyun called quietly. A noise from the back section. Both of them froze. Do-hyun raised his weapon. Slowly, they moved forward. Hyun was there, pressed against a wall, blood on his arm, but alive. When he saw them, relief flooded his face. Thank God, Hyun breathed. It got others. Took them. But I hid. You're hurt, Kale said. Just a scratch. It was fast. So damn fast. Can you still seal the vents? Do-hyun asked. Yes. But I need time. And I'll be exposed while I work. Then we protect you, Do-hyun said simply. Over the next 15 minutes, Hyun worked while Do-hyun and Kyle watched. Kyle felt useless with no weapon. But he watched. Listened. His people had good senses. Better than humans in some ways. I hear something, Kale whispered. Above us. In the vent. Do-hyun looked up. Aimed his weapon at the ceiling. Hurry, Hyun. Almost done. Just need to. There. A mechanical sound. All over the ship. Vent covers locked shut. Emergency seals activated. The creature's hunting ground was suddenly much smaller. That's when it dropped from the ceiling. It landed between them and the door. Cut off their escape. This close. Kale could see every detail. The plates of armor. The way its muscles moved under alien skin. The intelligence in its glowing eyes. And it was looking at Kale again. Do-hyun fired. The blast hit its shoulder. It screamed but didn't fall. Hyun grabbed a heavy tool and swung it. Hit the creature's head. It stumbled back. Run, Do-hyun shouted. They ran. Out of engineering, down the corridor. The creature followed. Kale could hear it behind them. Getting closer. This way, Hyun shouted. He led them through a side passage. Hit a button. A door slammed shut behind them. The creature hit the door a second later. The metal bent inward. It was strong enough to break through. But it would take time. They kept running. Kale's lungs burned. His legs ached, but fear kept him moving. Fear and something else. The humans beside him weren't just running away. They were running toward something. Toward safety. Toward other crew members. Toward a plan. They reached the bridge, got inside, the door sealed. Status? The captain demanded. Engineering is compromised, Hyun said between breaths. But we sealed the vents. It can't move as freely now. Good. That gives us an advantage. We need to kill it, Do-hyun said. It's picking us off one by one. We have to stop running and start hunting. How? Another crew member asked. We barely survived one encounter. We use what humans are good at, Yuna said. She had been quiet until now. We set a trap. Use ourselves as bait. Lead it somewhere we can kill it. That's suicide, someone said. Maybe, Do-hyun replied. But it's better than waiting to die. Kale watched the humans plan. Watched them transform from frightened crew members into something else. Something focused. Dangerous. They weren't the strongest species. Weren't the fastest. But they had something Kale was beginning to understand. They had been prey before. For millions of years, humans were hunted, and they learned to survive by becoming hunters themselves. I want to help, Kale said. Everyone looked at him. I know I'm not a fighter, but I can think. I can plan. Use me, Do-hyun smiled. Not a happy smile. A proud one. Okay. Tell us what you know about the creature. You're a scientist. What are its weaknesses? Kale thought about everything he'd seen. The creature was fast. Strong. Armored. But there had to be weakness. Everything had weaknesses. Its eyes. Kale said slowly. They glow. That means they're producing light. Might be sensitive to bright flashes. And the joints where its armor plates meet. I saw gaps there, vulnerable spots. Good, Hyun said. We can work with that. They plan together, humans and non-humans, warriors and scientists. Building a trap for a nightmare. Kale didn't know if it would work, didn't know if they would survive. But he was no longer frozen with fear. He was thinking, moving, fighting back in the only way he could. And beside him, the humans prepared to do what they did best, face terror head-on, and refuse to back down. The plan was simple. Too simple, maybe, But simple plans often worked best. They would use the cargo bay. It was large and open with only 2 entrances. Hyun would rig the lights to flash bright and sudden enough to blind the creature temporarily. Do-hyun and other armed crew members would position themselves with clear shots at those vulnerable joints Kale had identified. And someone would need to be bait. "I'll do it," Yuna said immediately. "No," Do-hyun replied. "I'm security. It's my job." "We need you shooting," Yuna argued. "I'm fast. I can draw it in and get to safety." They argued for several minutes. Kale listened and felt something build inside him. These humans were willing to die for each other. For him. For everyone on the ship. His people had never needed that kind of courage. They had built a safe world and lived safely. But safety wasn't the same as strength. "I'll be the bait," Kale said. Everyone stopped talking, stared at him. "Absolutely not," Sora said. "Kale, you're not trained for this." "Exactly. That's why it makes sense. The creature has seen you fight. Seen you as threats. But me? I froze last time. Didn't fight back. It sees me as easy prey, which is why you shouldn't do this," Hyun said. "No, which is why I'm the best bait. It will focus on me, chase me. Ignore the trap until it's too late." Do-hyun studied Kale carefully. "You understand what you're suggesting? You'll be in direct danger. If something goes wrong." "I know. But you saved my life. All of you. You protected me even though I was useless. Let me help now. Let me be useful." The humans exchanged looks. That silent communication they had. Finally, Do-hyun nodded. "Okay. But you follow the plan exactly. You run the path we set. You get behind the barrier when we tell you. No heroics." "I'm not capable of heroics," Kale said. "I'll just run and try not to freeze." They spent 2 hours preparing. Hyun rigged the lights with a control he could trigger remotely. Do-hyun positioned crew members with weapons at strategic points. Yuna set up an emergency force field as a last resort backup. Sora pulled Kale aside before they started. "I need you to understand something," she said. Her voice was soft but serious. "Fear is normal. If you feel it, that's okay. Don't fight the fear. Use it. Let it make you faster." "How do I use something that paralyzes me?" "You don't let it paralyze you. You remember what you're running toward. Not just what you're running from. You're running toward us. Toward safety. Toward people who care about you." Kale hadn't thought of it that way. "Thank you, Sora." She squeezed his shoulder gently. "You're braver than you know." They took their positions. Kale stood in the middle of the cargo bay, feeling very alone, very exposed. The lights were dim, shadows everywhere. Perfect for a predator. Opening the access door now, Hyun's voice came through Kale's earpiece. "It should smell you, and come investigating." "Smell me? You're the only Valoran on the ship. Your biology is unique. These things hunt by scent and heat." "Great." Kale was literally bait on a biological level. Minutes passed. Each one felt like an hour. Kale's legs wanted to shake. He forced them still. Forced himself to breathe normally. Then he heard it. That clicking sound, that wet breathing, coming from the ventilation shaft above. "I hear it," Kale whispered. "Stay calm," Do-hyun's voice. "Wait until you see it. Then run. Not too fast. Make it think it can catch you." The shaft cover fell with a clang. The creature dropped down. It was even bigger than Kale remembered. More terrifying in the dim light. Its red eyes found him immediately. Kale's body wanted to freeze. Every instinct from his peaceful species screamed at him to shut down. To stop. To accept death. But he thought about Sora's words. Run toward, not away from. He ran. The creature screamed and followed. Kale could hear it behind him. Close. Too close. But he followed the path they'd planned. Around containers. Through marked corridors. Leading it deeper into the trap. Almost there, Yuna's voice. 10 more meters. The creature was right behind him now. Kale could hear its breathing, smell its alien scent. Any second it would catch him. Now! Do-hyun shouted. Kyle dove behind the reinforced barrier. At the same moment, Hyun activated the lights. Brilliant white light flooded the cargo bay. The creature screamed in pain and confusion. Weapons fired, multiple shots hitting those vulnerable joints. The creature spun, trying to defend itself. But it was surrounded. The trap worked, almost. The creature was tough. The shots wounded it but didn't kill it. And it was smart enough to realize what happened. Smart enough to be angry. It charged toward where Do-hyun was positioned. He fired again but had to dodge. The creature's claws missed him by inches. Other crew members fired, hit it again and again. But it kept moving. Kept fighting. It's heading for the exit, someone shouted. If it escaped, they'd have to hunt it again. But this time, it would know their tricks. It wouldn't fall for the same trap twice. Kale saw what would happen. The creature would get away, would kill more crew members one by one. They might never get another chance like this. He didn't think about what he did next. Maybe that was good. Thinking would have stopped him. Kale jumped out from behind the barrier and ran toward the exit, putting himself between the creature and escape. Kale, no! Multiple voices shouting at once. The creature saw him, changed direction, charged at him instead of the exit. Kale ran again. But not toward safety this time. Toward a different part of the cargo bay. Toward where he'd seen something earlier while they set up. An airlock. He'd studied the ship's systems. All researchers did. He knew how airlocks worked. The inner door. The chamber. The outer door to space. The creature was 3 meters behind him, 2 meters. It would catch him before he reached the airlock. But Yuna understood what he was trying to do. "Clear the path!" she shouted. The armed crew members stopped shooting and moved aside, giving Kale a direct line to the airlock. He reached it with the creature right behind him, slapped the control panel. The inner door opened. He ran inside. The creature followed him into the chamber. Kale dove forward and rolled. Came out the other side just as the inner door started closing. The creature tried to follow but was too big. Got caught halfway through. For a moment, Kale thought his plan had failed. The creature would break through. Get him. But Do-hyun was there. Fired directly at the creature's head through the gap. Point-blank range. Hit one of those glowing eyes. The creature screamed and pulled back. Fully into the airlock chamber. The inner door closed. Kale hit the second control. The one that opened the outer door. The outer door opened to space. Atmosphere rushed out. The creature was pulled out with it. Into the vacuum. Its screams cut off immediately. Through the small window, Kale watched it drift away. Frozen. Dead. Silence filled the cargo bay. Then Sora was there, checking Kale over. "Are you hurt?" That was insane. Brilliant and insane. Hyun arrived, breathing hard. "How did you even think of that?" "I didn't think," Kale said. His voice shook. His whole body shook. "I just moved." Do-hyun approached last. He looked at Kale with something like respect. "You faced your fear. Didn't freeze. You saved us. You saved me first. Many times. Where even then." Kale started laughing. He couldn't help it. The fear and tension broke out as laughter. Soon the others joined in. Relief and joy mixed together. But the celebration was short. "Captain," Yuna's voice over the comm system. "We have a problem. Multiple problems." They rushed back to the bridge. The captain's face was grim. On the screens, Kale saw why. The ship's sensors showed 3 escape pods leaving. Crew members who had panicked and fled during the attack. And surrounding those pods were 5 more heat signatures. 5 more creatures. "It wasn't alone," Hyun said quietly. "There was more than one on the shuttle. They're going after the escape pods," Do-hyun said. "They'll kill everyone in them." "We can't save them," the captain said. His voice was heavy with grief. "The pods are too far. Moving too fast." Kale watched the screens. Watched the heat signatures of the creatures close in on the pods. Watched them disappear one by one. More deaths. More crew members gone. How many are still on this ship? Do-hyun asked. Yuna checked her console. 8 crew members total, including us. 8. They'd started with 15. Now only 8 remained. Where are the other creatures? Sora asked. Spreading out through the ship, Yuna said. They're not attacking yet. They're hunting us, Kale said. Like they hunted on the colony. How long until council reinforcements arrive? Hyun asked. 46 hours, the captain said. 46 hours. They had to survive for almost 2 days. Against 5 intelligent predators. With 8 crew members, several of whom weren't fighters. We need a better plan, Do-hyun said. Luring them one at a time won't work. They'll adapt. Learn. We need to control the ship, Kale said. Everyone looked at him. They're using our ship against us. The vents. The corridors. All of it favors them. We need to take away their advantages. Romanus. How? The captain asked. Kale thought about his species. About how they had survived, not by being strong, but by being smart. By changing their environment to suit them. We change the battlefield, Kale said. Make the ship hostile to them. Make them come to us on our terms. That might actually work, Hyun said slowly. If we can figure out how, we will, Do-hyun said. He looked at each person on the bridge. We've survived this long. We'll survive longer. These things are tough and smart. But so are we. Correction, Kale said. So are humans. The rest of us are just trying to keep up. Do-hyun smiled. You're keeping up fine, Kale. That thing with the airlock? Pure human thinking. That was Velaran thinking. No. It was survival thinking. Species doesn't matter. You faced your fear and fought back. That's universal. Kale realized Do-hyun was right. Fear was universal. But so was courage. So was the will to survive. So was the determination to protect others. His species had thought they evolved beyond such things. But maybe they hadn't evolved beyond them. Maybe they'd just forgotten them. Kale was remembering now, and he would need every bit of that memory for what was coming. Because the creatures weren't done. The hunt was far from over, but neither were the crew of the Times Horizon's Dream Asterisk. They had lost people. But the survivors were united now, human and non-human, warrior and scientist, all of them together, all of them ready to fight back. They worked through the night. 8 crew members, turning a research vessel into a fortress, into a trap. Hyun was in his element. He sealed off sections of the ship, forcing the creatures into specific corridors. He rigged doors with motion sensors, set up emergency force fields that would activate when the creatures passed through. Do-hyun distributed weapons and taught basic combat to non-military crew. Even the captain, who had never held a weapon before, learned to shoot. Yuna programmed the ship's systems to respond to their commands only. Life support, gravity, lighting all under their control now. They could change conditions in any section instantly. And Kale studied. He watched every recording they had of the creatures, analyzed their behavior, their movement patterns, their hunting strategies. Looking for weaknesses they could exploit. They always work in groups, Kale explained to the others. Minimum of 2. They communicate somehow, coordinate their attacks, so we separate them, Do-hyun said. Exactly. Force them apart. Make them easier to fight. Sora was monitoring everyone's health, making sure they stayed alert, keeping their fear from overwhelming them. We're not going to run anymore, Do-hyun announced. We're going to herd them, control where they go, lead them to where we want them. Over the next 12 hours, they implemented their plan. The ship became a maze designed by humans and Valorans working together. Every corridor had a purpose. Every room had a trap. The creatures probed their defenses, tested different areas. But they were cautious now. They'd seen what happened to the first one, knew their prey was fighting back. They're learning, the captain observed. Adapting to what we do. Good, Kale said. Everyone looked at him surprised. If they're learning, they're thinking. And if they're thinking, they can make mistakes. The first real battle happened in hour 14. Two creatures tried to force their way into the bridge section. Hyun activated the gravity controls, increasing it to 3 times normal. The creatures struggled to move. Do-hyun and 2 others fired from defensive positions. They killed one. The other retreated. 4 left, Yuna said. They celebrated briefly, then prepared for the next attack. It came 6 hours later. 3 creatures this time, attacking from different directions simultaneously. Trying to divide their attention. North corridor, someone shouted. South access too. And they're in the ventilation again. The crew split up despite the danger. Small teams covering multiple positions. Kale stayed on the bridge with Yuna, monitoring everything, coordinating the defense. Team 1, increase oxygen in your section, Kale said. Make it harder for them to breathe. Hyun's voice came back. Didn't know they needed oxygen. Everything needs something. Try it. It worked. The creature in that section slowed down. Became sluggish. Easy to hit. Team 2, drop temperature to freezing. Their armor is designed for warmth. More success. The creatures hated the cold, moved slower, made more noise. They killed 2 more that attack, but lost another crew member. One of the engineers was caught in a corridor before they could seal it off. 6 crew members remained. We can't keep this up, the captain said. He looked exhausted. They all did. Every time we fight them, we lose someone. They only need to win once. We need to win every time. How long until help arrives? Sora asked. 28 hours. Too long. They wouldn't make it. The remaining 2 creatures were smart, patient. They'd wait for the crew to make a mistake, to get too tired, too slow. We need to end this, Do-hyun said. Take the fight to them. How? Hyun asked. We don't know where they are. Yes, we do, Kale said. He pointed to his monitor. I've been tracking their movements. They have a pattern. They always return to this section. He highlighted a cargo area. I think it's their nest. Nest? Yuna looked worried. They're not just hunting, they're claiming territory. That area has everything they need. Food storage, water, warmth from the nearby engine systems. So we go there, Do-hyun said. Kill them in their nest. That's suicide, the captain said. On their territory? With their advantages? Maybe. But it's better than waiting to die, they argued. But everyone knew Do-hyun was right. Eventually, their defenses would fail. Someone would make a mistake. They needed to be proactive. I have an idea, Kale said quietly. But it's dangerous, and it will damage the ship. Tell us, Sora said. Kale explained his plan. As he talked, he saw understanding dawn on their faces. Then concern. Then reluctant acceptance. That could work, Hyun said. But the timing has to be perfect. And someone needs to be bait again, Yuna added. I'll do it, Kale said immediately. No, Do-hyun replied. You already did it once. Someone else. It has to be me. I'm the smallest, fastest runner among non-humans. And I've done it before. I know what to expect. They couldn't argue with his logic. After everything, Kale had become part of the team. Not just someone to protect. A full member. Okay, Do-hyun said. But this time, we all cover you. No one fights alone. No one. They prepared for 3 hours. Hyun rigged the engines to overload on command. Not enough to destroy the ship, but enough to create a massive power surge. Yuna programmed the surge to channel through specific areas, specifically the cargo section where the creatures nested. The plan was simple and terrible. Kale would go into the nest area, draw both creatures out, lead them through a path to the engine room. Once they were in position, Hyun would trigger the overload. The power surge would electrocute everything in those sections, including Kale if he didn't get clear fast enough. Are we really doing this? Sora asked. She looked at Kale with worry. We're doing this, Kale said. He was scared, more scared than he'd ever been. But fear was familiar now. He could work through it. They moved through the ship together. All 6 of them. United. When they reached the access point to the cargo section, they stopped. "Remember," Do-hyun said to KL, "you don't have to be brave. You just have to be fast. Run hard. Don't look back." "I learned from the best," Kale replied. Hyun opened the door. Kael stepped through alone. The others sealed it behind him and moved to their positions. The cargo section was dark. Warm. The smell was terrible, blood and decay and something alien. Kale forced himself to walk forward. Into the heart of the nest. He saw them immediately, both creatures, resting. But their eyes opened as he approached. Red eyes glowing in the darkness. They recognized him. The prey that had killed their packmate. They rose slowly, not rushing this time. This was different. This was personal. Kale turned and ran. The creatures followed, both of them, making that terrible clicking sound. That wet breathing. Kale ran through the planned route, through corridors, past sensors. Hyun would be watching, tracking their position, waiting for the perfect moment. "They're both following." Kale gasped into his comm. "On schedule." Acknowledged. Hyun's voice was calm. 30 more meters. Then turn left at the junction. Kale ran. His lungs burned. His legs ached. Behind him, the creatures were closer. They were faster than him. Stronger. In every physical way, superior. But they were following his path, doing what he wanted, and sometimes intelligence beat strength. "Turn coming up," Hyun warned. "Then straight run to the marked door." Kale turned. Saw the door ahead. Saw Do-hyun and Yuna waiting there. They would pull him through. Seal it. The creatures would be trapped in the corridor when the surge hit. 20 meters. 15. The creatures were right behind him. He could hear their breathing. 10 meters. One of the creatures leaped, tried to catch him early. Its claw caught Kale's shoulder. Pain exploded. He stumbled, but didn't fall. Kept running, blood running down his arm. 5 meters. "Kale." Sora's voice, terrified. The door ahead opened. Hands reached out, grabbed him, pulled him through. The door slammed shut. The creatures hit it a second later. "Now!" Do-hyun shouted. Hyun triggered the overload. The ship's engines screamed. Power surged through the systems, through the walls, through everything metal in those corridors. The creatures screamed too. A sound like nothing Kale had ever heard. Pain and rage and shock all mixed together. Then silence. "Did it work?" the captain asked. Hyun checked his monitors. "Heat signatures are gone. It worked. They're dead." For a moment, no one moved. Then Yuna started laughing. Then crying. Then both at once. Sora was checking Kale's wound. Do-hyun was leaning against the wall. Eyes closed. Breathing hard. "We did it," Hyun said. "We actually did it." "Kale did it," Do-hyun said. He opened his eyes and looked at the young Valoran. "You led them exactly where we needed them. Perfect timing." "We all did it," Kale corrected. Together. Sora finished bandaging his shoulder. "This will scar. You'll always have a mark from today." "Good," Kale said. "I want to remember." The next 24 hours passed in a blur. They secured the ship, checked every section, made sure no more creatures remained, treated injuries, ate real food for the first time in days. When the council ships finally arrived, they found 6 survivors on the Times Horizon's Dream Asterisk. 6 crew members who had faced an ancient predator species, and 1. The debriefing took days. Council officials wanted every detail. How the creatures hunted. How they were killed. Every tactic that worked. Kale provided detailed reports, scientific analysis, behavioral patterns. All the data his people valued. But he also wrote a personal account. Something different. He wrote about fear. Real fear. The kind that paralyzes. The kind that makes you want to give up. He wrote about humans. About how they faced fear with courage. How they protected others even at great cost to themselves. how they never gave up. He wrote about learning to fight. Not with weapons, he'd never be good at that. But with his mind, with determination, with the will to survive. I came aboard the Times Horizon's Dream Times to study humans, he wrote. I wanted to understand how they could be both violent and kind, both aggressive and compassionate. I thought it was a contradiction. I was wrong. It's not a contradiction. It's survival. Humans are kind because they know what cruelty is. They are compassionate because they've felt pain. They are protective because they've lost people they loved. They are strong because they had to be. And they taught me that strength isn't just physical. It's mental. It's emotional. It's the choice to keep going when everything says stop. My people thought we had evolved beyond fear and violence, that we were advanced because we created a peaceful world. But we didn't evolve beyond these things. We just hid from them. Humans never hid. They faced the darkness in their history, in their nature. And instead of being consumed by it, they used it, made it into something better. That's what I learned confronting terror for the first time with humanity at my side. That courage isn't the absence of fear. It's what you do when fear tries to stop you. It's moving forward anyway. Together. 3 weeks later, Kale was cleared to leave. The council offered him a position at any research station he wanted. Safe positions. Comfortable positions. Far from danger, he declined them all. Instead, he returned to the Times Horizon's Dream Asterisk. The ship had been repaired. New crew members had been assigned to replace those lost. But the core remained. Do-hyun, Hyun, Yuna, Sora, and a new captain, a human this time. They welcomed Kale back with smiles and hugs. With jokes about our favorite Valoran. With genuine happiness to see him again. I thought you'd go home, Sora said. Back to safety. I was home, Kale replied. Home isn't a place. It's people. And my people are here. Do-hyun clapped him on the shoulder. The one that wasn't injured. Welcome back. Think you can handle more adventures? I don't know, Kale said honestly. But I'm willing to try. That's all anyone can ask, Hyun said. The ship launched again. Back into deep space. Back into the unknown. Kyle stood at the observation window, watching the stars blur past. He thought about the young Valoran, who first stood here weeks ago. That person had been naive. Sheltered. Unprepared for reality. That person was gone now. The new KL understood what the galaxy really was. Beautiful and dangerous. Full of wonder and terror. A place where peace was precious because violence was possible. He understood humans now too. Understood why they prepared for war while hoping for peace. Why they trained for violence while celebrating kindness. Why they never forgot the darkness even while creating light. Because darkness was always there, always waiting. And the only defense against it was to remember, to stay ready. To never forget that civilization was fragile, but also to know that it was worth protecting, worth fighting for, worth dying for if necessary. Kale's reflection stared back at him from the window. A Valoran scientist. But also something more now. Someone who had faced terror and survived. Someone who learned to keep moving when fear said stop. Someone who finally understood what it meant to be strong. The alarm sounded not emergency this time. Just the normal alert for station approach. Kale didn't freeze. Didn't panic. Just turned calmly and walked to his station, ready for whatever came next. With humanity at his side,